You know, today is about what we enjoy most. It's a really opportunity for us to share what I don't think we get to see often firsthand, and that's what each of the electeds do within your community and the services that we provide back.
Today, what you see on the stage here is the collaboration of the family of San Bernardino County that has come together to give you a snapshot of how we work together as your electeds for your benefit. The High Desert continues to have a strong voice, with the 1st and 3rd district supervisors continuing to look at ways that we can contribute to increasing those opportunities of employment, education, law enforcement, firefighters, those areas.
We've actually met with Chris Piercy. He's the director of the K-16 Bridge Director for the Lewis Center. We've also met with Dennis Braxter. He's the Executive Director of Habitat for Humanity. And what they're looking at is developing a pilot program, I believe with Victorville Community College, where it's going to include the acquisition of a property, selling that property to someone who's qualified, low income, to basically assume that property. So we're responsible for the investment of roughly $5.2 billion annually. One of my goals here and statutory requirements is basically to safeguard those assets, making sure that those things are invested properly. So for us, our goal is to basically adhere to the safety of the investments, the liquidity of the investment, and of course generating some type of a yield.
The fact that 80 million people are going to retire in the next day, and there's 62 million people coming in the workforce to replace it. And our key and our success is going to be built on education.
So when you talk about the state of education in San Bernardino County, it's getting stronger and stronger. 80% of the money goes out equally across all grade levels to every school district in the state. But that 20% is for students that are the most challenging, that have the most needs. Students that are foster youth, students that come from socioeconomically disadvantaged families. Districts are training their teachers at the highest levels we've seen to make sure teachers are effective in delivering in the content for students so they can be successful with the standards.
Well, if we're going to have roads to prosperity for our children, we have to have good paying jobs. Where do we get those jobs? Well, in order to get those jobs, you've got to have a trained workforce. You've got to have a good education system. We just initiated a program that the board blessed and funded that has been a huge success called Vision to Read, because literacy is part of the key to that trained workforce.
I was asked to give a comment update real quick as far as our activities regarding the Blue Cut fire. There was a total of 840 parcels within the fire boundaries identified as being damaged or lost. We currently have a damaged property team out in the area. State law does provide relief, property tax relief, if you experience more than $10,000 worth of property damage. One of the events that I've really been thrilled about participating in has been the Veterans Resources Fairs. Due to the efforts of Supervisor Lovingood, I've got 80 new applicants from disabled veterans that have made applications for the disability benefits that they're entitled to, that they just didn't know that they existed.
District Attorney Mike Ramos, and when I say this, one of the ones we went to was welfare fraud. And I can say his office has aggressively taken that in, and they've gone out and they started finding and prosecuting, we think, some data that had been overlooked for a couple of years. We were very vocal about that.
With Lovingood's ideas and thoughts, we sat down at the table with our chairman of the board, with the Sheriff's Department, and we said, let's do something about this. We got together with our welfare fraud investigators. We now work as a team. And we had our first sweep about a month ago here in your region, where we arrested and we were going to convict several, and I'm talking close to 100 people that are committing welfare fraud. We're not going to put up with it anymore.
And if we look at the statistics and we see what's gone down in the high desert, crime has been reduced in our areas. And I got to share with you this because of John's leadership with his team. They're proactive, they're there, they're taking care of your families, and they work hard.
But Supervisor Lovingood, as well as the 3 cities and the town of Apple Valley, have supported us again in the Desert Guardian operation. We started in July. This is something that we've been doing for a number of years. And since July, we've arrested over 74 people just specifically under this operation. Taken several pounds of illegal narcotics off the street, recovered stolen guns, stolen cars, and more importantly, holding those folks accountable that are victimizing all of us in the high desert, and that's what's critically important. And I've been in this business for over 31 years with this department, and I've never seen a relationship like this amongst all of the leaders in the county. That's the reason we're able to accomplish great things. But we owe it to the men and women that come to work every day to protect you, to do everything in our power to make them safe.
Folks, thank you for your time. Thanks for letting us represent you. I believe we adapt best practices in spending the money that you allow us to do by letting us serve you. So have a great week. And again, for coming out.